from your new studio on the Mall.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Don Shelby.
And I'm Kathy Egan in for Colleen Needles. No charges will be filed in the death of an Edina man.
Thomas Garrett died in downtown Minneapolis over the weekend after getting into a fight. Andrew Lear admitted getting into the fight with Garrett, and today, Lear walked out of jail a free man. Mike Walcher joins us from the corner of 6th and Hennepin where this whole thing took place. Mike, you'll have to explain this.
Well, one thing to keep in mind here, Don, by law, it doesn't matter who started the fight, whether punches were exchanged. All that counts is the answer to this question. Could an objective person reasonably foresee that Lear hitting Garrett would cause Garrett to fall and strike his head on the concrete with such force as to cause him to die? Well, the county attorney decided no objective person could foresee that result, and therefore no manslaughter charges were filed. It is clear that Garrett and Lear had two altercations early Saturday. One was a verbal altercation on the sidewalk. After that, Garrett apparently cut in front of Lear's car, may have kicked it. Lear got out, the punch-up began, and then Garrett fell and struck his head. Today, Lear walked out of jail, no conditions set on his release. He called it a horrible, unfortunate accident, but not a crime.
Is this a case of self-defense, though, in your case? Tell us about it.
Yes, sir, it was.
What?
Self-defense, 100%.
He slugged you first, you claim?
Oh, the whole incident was just completely misfortunate. I acted in my best interest. What happened was a horrible accident, but...
Did he hit you first?
I'm not going to comment on that. I'm sure you people are...
Your brother says he did.
Well, it happened pretty quick, so I'm assuming he saw it better than I did. As you can see, I do have a black eye.
And so Andrew Lear is a free man tonight. The county attorney says the investigation technically is still open. They are certainly open to having other witnesses come forward. However, they have no plans to go to a grand jury. Chances are no charges will ever be filed. Don?
Not even lesser charges, not even charges of simple assault.
Well, probably not. That would be up to the city attorney to file those, and there are also still some consideration about one of Lear's friends, whether charges, simple assault charges might be filed, but more serious charges, most likely not, like manslaughter.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Mike also reporting from downtown Minneapolis. Got it.
Need a TV for Christmas or a camcorder? How about a computer? As the advertising inserts trumpet, you can get them and pay no interest. At Circuit City, you can buy some items with their credit card if you pay off the entire amount plus taxes in 6 monthly payments. Miss a payment, though, and you owe retroactive interest up to 18%. At Montgomery Ward's, you use their card and pay off the bill in 12 months. All finance charges then are credited back to your account. But if you mess up the payments, they keep the interest. Best Buy offers the most unique deal, no payments, no interest for 6 months on items more than $249. After 6 months, you pay the bill with interest. You can buy even small items and put off paying for 3 months.
Hopefully they're responsible enough when they make that purchase that they understand that it needs to be paid. And we do send them monthly statements so they don't forget about it, of course, to let them know exactly what their purchase was and the payments if they'd like to make payments.
Consumers we talk with like the 0% financing. They claim they can budget well enough to make payments when they come due. But the nonprofit Consumer Credit Counseling Service warns people to know what they're signing.
It's not going to be a huge surprise, but it's sort of one of those things that's easy to tuck away in the back of your mind and sort of forget about with your front brain, even though you really know that you're going to have to start making the payments. So yeah, it can be a real shocker for people when that first bill says, well, it's time to start paying.
The bottom line seems to be that this 0% financing can help you buy the big ticket items now. But if you don't follow the terms for repayment, you could wind up paying an extra 1/5 in interest per year for that product. I'm Mike Walcher, 4 News at 6.
Well, we are going to give you now your first look inside one of the 6 new Mervyn's California stores. They're going to open to the public 1 week from tomorrow. 4 News reporter Mike Walcher is at the Southdale store, and they're calling it Mervyn's California, so I assume that means they have a real West Coast feel.
Well, they certainly do. You know, it's very bright inside, it's colorful, it's a fun place to be. However, retail analysts are warning that the right merchandising mix and the right pricing are critical for Mervyn's to do better. And likewise, the success of this new format is also critical to the parent company Dayton Hudson, because its profitability has been frankly hampered a bit by the weakness of Mervyn's. If it's a national brand name, trendy, value-priced, and aimed at women 18 to 49, Mervyn's promises to have it. The stores will stock more than 100 brand names at value prices. The California format also boasts a restaurant, a portrait studio, and even a hairstylist. The feel of the place is shopper-friendly, but also quite hip.
It's California cool, it's fun, bright colors, and energized. These are our trend areas, and you'll see them in our stores change regularly. They'll be fresh. They may last 30 days at the most, and you'll see colors and styles and prints that'll change fairly regularly.
Mervyn's California has hired retired football great Joe Montana as commercial spokesperson, and it's produced Minnesota-style ads with a California twist. Mervyn's will compete in part against Kohl's, which has gained favor among many price-conscious consumers, some of whom don't take kindly to all this West Coast influence.
We're not Californians, and I don't want to be a Californian. If I did, I'd live there.
Other local shoppers say Mervyn's California does deserve a try.
I'm sure I'll go and see what it's like, and I think that kind of a promotion may have a fair amount of appeal.
Well, this new format is critical to Dayton-Hudson's because Wall Street has been pressing Dayton's to perhaps spin off Target or spin off the department stores to free up the value of those stores and the value of the stock. However, Dayton's is committed to making all three retail arms work: the department stores, Target, and Mervyn's. And the effort to make Mervyn's better and sell better begins here with this format next week. Cindy?
Well, an article in the paper yesterday said they may sell off Mervyn's itself, so I guess it's kind of who knows.
Well, it's a possibility. It's been talked about a lot. That would free up the value of the department store and the Target stock, Dayton-Hudson stock. But officially, they're still committed to Mervyn's.
All right, well, I guess so. They're all opening next week, and you're going to find a Mervyn's in Brookdale, Rosedale, Southdale, Northtown, and the Burnsville and Eden Prairie centers. Thanks, Mike.
The PC allows you to get interactive with the former prince. You can build a city and then wreck it with natural disasters. Kids can learn grammar and spelling with animated games.
I can't believe he gave us homework the first day.
But this software is not cheap. Programs and games often cost $40 to $50 each. And to make the best use of today's elaborate software, you really need CD-ROM and powerful hardware to drive it. So how do you get into this amazing software without breaking your budget?
Start slow, take on one thing at a time, and learn that program and go on to the next. Especially if you're working with business or finance programs, you don't have to buy everything at once.
Another way to cut costs, ask a seller to bundle the software into your hardware purchase. A few will even throw it in for free.
Some other companies will actually bundle the software and incorporate it into their price. Either way, you're paying for it, but also either way, if you buy it with the hardware, you can save money.
Another bit of advice, wait a while before you buy the newest software.
After a month, 2 months, things will take a drop, usually by at least $15, $20 on the average.
The games, the animation, the software programs are so real, it's mind-boggling. But the software industry never rests. There are new advancements on the horizon, such as digital photography.
Kodak's photo CD process allows you to shoot a roll of film, bring it to a developer, and have it developed and saved onto a CD-ROM disk that you can then put into your computer and edit digitally.
Most PC users won't move into digital photography for a while yet. For now, they face more than enough difficult decisions about the software. The best advice seems to be make the software work for you and don't take on more than you can handle. I'm Mike Walcher, 4 News at 6.
It was shortly after 8 o'clock this evening when a missile hit here in a lower middle-class area, mostly apartment buildings in Tel Aviv. It is described as an area where mostly families live. As we drove over here from the CBS News Bureau in Tel Aviv, we saw a number of ambulances making runs to local hospitals. And we got here, people were being pulled out of the rubble. Heavy equipment was being moved in an attempt to dig into the rubble of these apartment buildings where the missile hit and search for any survivors or victims.
One woman was pulled from the damage. Paramedics treated her on the sidewalk. Later, she was carried to an ambulance. The blast shattered windows and shutters up to several blocks away. Some residents gathered handfuls of belongings and then fled the area. People who gathered near the damage vented anger at Iraq.
But Israel not afraid. She's Israel to make something like Israel is dead. Saddam is dead. It's nothing. Dead. Enough. Saddam Hussein is crazy. Full crazy.
After 3 nights without a missile attack and without even an alert, Israeli civilians have been struck again by Iraq's Saddam Hussein in an attempt to pull the Jewish state into the Mideast war. With Brad Early, I'm Mike Walcher, WCCO Television News, Tel Aviv. At IDS headquarters in Minneapolis, it's another business workday, and financial planner Tracy Benson concentrates at her computer keyboard. But Tracy's not in Minneapolis. She's in Isanti, 40 miles to the north. She works out of her home, caring for her child while mapping investment strategy for clients in the western United States.
I can be the mom, the wife, and the IDS employee without feeling that one is always overpowering the other. A racing 8-to-5 mentality means you don't focus on, gee, I'm just here in the office and I'm putting in my time, which can happen.
Benson stays in close touch with her office and says as a telecommuter, she's a more efficient and happy employee.
I keep telling people it's the wave of the future. It just makes good sense.
Also working out of his home is Minneapolis musician David Fisher, who uses an Apple computer to compose for films, commercials, and even dance lines. Later, Fisher adds guitar.
I'll have an infinite number of little instruments that I can play into the computer that then fires off to these other synthesizers.
Fisher can edit music on the computer, but he adds he's careful as a performer and a composer not to become lazy and rely too much on this technology, which improves all the time.
Someday we'll be putting Tom Hanks' voice on Madonna's head, and it'll all work out perfectly.
And personal computers are moving from making music to researching the law by voice command.
Is DNA testing admissible in a criminal trial?
Greg Perlberg has devised a voice recognition computer, now being sold to West Publishing clients. Attorneys can research truckloads of law without hunching over a keyboard for many hours.
I find myself leaning back in my chair and dictating very comfortably.
This technology is dropping in price, and it could help open the computer world to the disabled and those suffering from carpal tunnel syndrome in their wrists.
This will just provide a very efficient and cost-effective way to access the PC without extensive 2-day sessions to learn how to use a word processor or a spreadsheet. You just turn the computer on and interact with it.
These then are just 3 new uses of the personal computers that are reshaping the work and the leisure hours of many Minnesotans. I'm Mike Walcher, 4 News at 6.